Hello, this is your girl Pam with Pam for Christ. I want to share this short story with you. The um the first time I can say that I heard the audible voice of God. Now, since I was 3 years old, God has been giving me dreams and visions and stuff like that. And even with being a kid, you don't know much about what's going on or what's happening. And if your parents don't help to cultivate the gift of dreams and visions, then you pretty much is you don't know what's going on. You're pretty much on your own. And that was sort of like my problem. It's like the parents back then, I don't know why they felt that they want to protect us from certain things or whatever, but things that they knew, they felt that we were too young to know anything about or whatever, so they would just brush stuff under the rug. But my parents did know about me, dreaming dreams and having visions ever since I was 3. Every time I dreamed something, it always came true within that day, the next day, or 7 days. But the thing about the audible voice, I couldn't tell you, even with being a kid, whether or not I had ever heard his voice before and just thought it was somebody else, or just thought I ignored it or whatever. But I mean, I remember at the age of 15 hearing his audible voice. And even then I didn't know until I went to an elder after that, and I told the elder what happened, and they was like, baby, that was God. So of course they gave me references to the Bible, with different times when God did other people like that in the Bible. So I'm like, okay. So that was something new that I had learned. But this day, I was getting ready to go to the club. Now, mind you, I was a big girl. I did share in another video where I got a chance to, finally get bigger and buffer than everybody else at the age of 11. That's when I really, really started, getting height, girth, weight, all that. So, um, what ended up happening was I had pretty much, by the time I turned 18, I had already experienced literally everything. And I mean, in the literal sense, literally everything. And, as far as like going to clubs and stuff like that, that was child's play. I had been doing all that. But this particular day, in which this story is also in the book, but it's not as magnified. What I'm getting ready to tell you, I'm not really magnifying it like it is in, the chapter in my book. But what ended up happening was my sister and her friends, um, I was getting ready to go to the club with them, and all of them had kids, and they had to, find a babysitter and stuff like that. And I was over my sister's apartment, and of course, with it being just me, Mama thought I was just going over to, my sister's place just to spend the night. She didn't know where we was going. She didn't know what was going on. And of course, I had already got dressed. It was winter time, and we wasn't trying to look all nice and sexy, honey. All of us had on sweatpants suit. So I had already had on my clothes, and they were taking too long to find babysitters. So I ended up falling asleep on my sister's couch. And what ended up happening was they had left, find the babysitters to go get dressed, do their hair, the whole shebang. And I had a weird dream. I really couldn't remember what the dream was, but I remember the dream being very, very weird. And by the time everybody finally got through, my sister woke me up, and she was like, "Come on, it's time to go." And I'm looking around. I'm talking about I got slob hanging. I'm seeing him doing this right here. I'm trying to focus my eyes, and I'm looking because I'm thinking, okay, I'm woke, but am I still dreaming? Because like I said, the dream was weird. So she kicked the couch again. She was like, "Come on, let's go, girl. We ready." And I'm like, okay. So this means I'm putting on my shoes. I got the shoes going around here. And I heard something say, "Don't go." I'm looking around. I told my sister, I said, "What you say?" Putting on my shoes. I ain't said nothing, girl. Hurry up. I'm like, okay. So I put on my other shoe, and the voice got louder and said, "Don't go." And I looked up at my sister again. I looked up at her friends. I said, "What y'all said?" They were like, "Look, girl, you been drinking. We ain't even got there yet. What's wrong with you?" And so I was like, "No, I was waiting on y'all. Y'all done tired me out. I got tired. I've been sitting here asleep for a whole 2 hours. It took y'all too long, blah, blah, blah." So right when I stood up, it's like sort of like having like an out of body experience. I felt so crazy. It's like I was seeing double of everything. And it's like right when I snapped back, the voice was so loud, it was like literally in my ear, like somebody was yelling in my ear, yelling like, "Don't go." And I sat back down, and my sister looked at me. She was like, "Girl, what's wrong with you?" And I was like, "You know what?" I said, "I don't even feel like going." I said, I don't want to go. I said, "I really don't want." I wanted to go now, but I told her because I was confused at that point, and I'm like, "Who is this speaking?" If I'm looking at you guys over here not saying anything, after, like I said, I sort of snapped back, and I'm like, okay. And I looked over, and y'all was just looking at me. Y'all wasn't talking. Y'all was just looking at me. And the voice was like in my ear yelling, "Don't go." So I'm like, I sit back down, and I'm like, look, I don't want to go. I don't feel like going. I changed my mind. She was like, "You changed your mind? Why you change your mind?" Because she fussing at me now because it took her too long, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go back to sleep. So she was like, well, let me go get the baby then. She brought my nephew back to me. So she brought my nephew from the babysitter back to me. She was like, well, you might as well keep him since you gonna stay here. And I'm like, okay, cool, not a problem. So she went to get him, came back up the steps, and they ended up leaving. But before they left, what happened was she ended up switching outfits. She ended up wearing my all white the little jumpsuit that I had, the little winter, what I told you guys, we all had the little sweatsuits. And so I had an all white one, and I can't remember what. I think either hers was black or hers was dark color, but mine was all white. So I guess she wanted to, shine that night. She wanted to be all she had on the all white one. And I told her before she left out the door, I remember telling her, "Don't get my suit dirty. Don't get my sweatsuit dirty." She's like, "Girl, ain't nobody finna get it dirty." You know how sisters are, when they try to be smart with you. Girl, ain't nobody finna get it dirty. And I'm trying to think. I couldn't have been, we put the baby in his room, came back. I fell asleep on the couch. It couldn't have been more than maybe, maybe 2 hours later, 2.5 hours later, maybe. She came busting through the door. She was crying. And I'm like, what's she crying for? What's going on? And then when I really focused my eyes to look at her, she had blood on my sweatsuit. And she told me that our friend had got shot and killed. And it was a domestic dispute. Her boyfriend had got into it with another, guy or whatever. And I don't know what happened to the point where I think her boyfriend had already beat the guy up or whatever. You know how it is. They go back and get the brothers and everybody else or whatever because you embarrassed, you got your butt whooped, and and just unnecessary, killing. But they got into it, and they got the shooting, and she was trying to separate her boyfriend from the guy that he had already beat up or whatever, because he had his family members with him or whatever. And they ended up getting into a shootout, and she was in the middle of it, and she ended up getting shot, and she died. But my sister was right there. She was standing by her, and she was with her when she passed, holding her hand. She had her, she was with her, and watched her as she was taking her last breath and stuff like that. But the thing about it was, even with me being too young to go to the club, and I feel that, and a lot of people say, something told me. No, that's not something told you. That's the Holy Spirit. That's God telling the Holy Spirit to talk to you and tell you what He wants you to know. And what ended up happening was, I had told her that was the reason why I didn't go. I said, so the voice kept telling me not to go, but I didn't know, like I said, that was God that told the Holy Spirit to tell me, because for you to tell me 3 times, and the third time it's like the Holy Spirit had to like literally yell, "Don't go," in my ear. And I'm like, okay, whether I'm going crazy or not, I don't know, but I'm not gonna go. And like I said, God knows everything. He sees everything. So if I had went, I could have been one of the ones that got shot and killed. I mean, I don't know. God knows, but I don't know. But for God to relay that message, to the Holy Spirit to tell me not to go, obviously God knew that I could have gotten killed that night, or I could have gotten shot, that night. Because like I said, my sister was standing right there too, and it's just by the grace of God that she didn't get, shot, because y'all got bullets flying everywhere inside of a club. You got like 3-4 people shooting a gun. Everybody trying to, run and, hit the exit and duck, and, it's crazy. It's crazy. But Like I said, a lot of times, like I said, when people say something told me, no, that's not something, that's the Holy Spirit, please listen and please do what the Holy Spirit tell you to do. A lot of times it don't have to be, the Holy Spirit having to yell in your ear. The only reason why I felt that he yelled in mine was because he had to tell me 3 times because I was being disobedient, really, to tell you the truth. He told me the first time, I was like, let me go ahead and keep on putting on these shoes. He said the second time, I'm still putting on shoes. He said the third time, my shoes on and, we about to go. So he had to yell to me, don't go. You know what I'm saying? In order for me to really, pay attention to or heed to what, the Holy Spirit was saying. But sometimes small still voice, sometimes it may be 1 time, 2 times, it may be a yell. You don't know, how I don't know how the Holy Spirit will relay anything to you, but anytime a lot of people say, something told me not to do that, something told me not to go, something told me to pick that up, and that was the Holy Spirit telling you. A lot of times we, be obedient and do it. Sometimes we don't. But next time you have that voice that tells you that's the Holy Spirit. So be obedient and do what the Lord is telling the Holy Spirit to tell you to do. But this is your girl Pam with Pam for Christ. Like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys. Leave a comment as well, and peace.